It's the Chief here again, and welcome back to another review. Yeah, only 18 days left to BotCon. So yeah, just over a little 2 weeks, and I'm getting really fucking hyped now. Changed over some money, because I was spending too much money over here, even before I left for the holidays. You always do that. I don't know if anyone else does that, especially my wife. Before we go anywhere, she always goes out and buys a load of things for the holiday that we could quite simply, which we either already have, or you know, she has a desire to buy new things for the holiday because, I don't know, last year's bathing suit was just simply not good enough. But yeah, so we've spent a fair bit of money already for things for the holidays. I've bought stupidly, I've bought the 3DS, the Nintendo 3DS. Nice little thing. Do you really need 3D to play 3D games? Maybe on the big screen. But as you know, as handheld things go, I don't know. It's nice. It's nice to have. But I wouldn't say it's essential. Another thing as well, for those who regularly view my videos, will know that I recently purchased a Masterpiece Rodimus, which I have right here. Gorgeous little thing, and it went missing, so I went out and bought another one. Unfortunately, it went missing in the post because it was a friend of the family who posted one out from Hong Kong to me, and for some reason it went walkabout. And about a month or so later, I found out that the package had actually been returned back to the family friend, but they decided not to tell us or tell me anything about it. So we were waiting, and nothing at all. I checked with the post office, nothing had gone through at all. Obviously because it had been returned. And lo and behold, I now have two Rodimuses, as the second one has finally arrived. So yeah, can now have too many hot rods or Rodimus convoys or proms or whatever you want to call them. So yeah, I think one of those will be going to eBay quite soon. Anyway, what we're reviewing today then? I shall be reviewing, well, continuing, should I say, the HotHead Duro-5 military assault driver, which you can see, that's the packaging. It came with a card in the packaging. As you can see, it's got the instruction in the guide of how to fix the headmaster unit onto the Universe Hardhead figure. I've got all the bits here, if I just show you. If I can get it on camera, where is it? There it is. That's the Duro-5. Get some light on here. That's the Duro-5 figure. In terms of articulation, it's superb. I mean, you can't knock it. He can obviously move his arms forward, but he can also move them to the side as well, as they're on ball joints. As with his legs as well, also on ball joints, so he can have them in a sitting position, bend at the knee. So yeah, in terms of the figure itself, it's got a lot of articulation. Now, personally myself, I'm not that impressed by it, I'll be honest. I mean, he's got Lego hands for a start, so he can actually hold some of the smaller figures' weapons. But in terms of detailing, you can't beat the G1 figure. I mean, you look at the difference in the detail in that. Excuse me. Yeah, and And it feels very cheap as well, very cheap resin plastic, whereas this feels much more solid in terms of quality and build. Another thing as well, because of the transformation, the way it connects on, there's a massive hole there, and he's got a tiny little head, whereas obviously on the G1 figure that is the connection port itself, so you've got a fair size, a fair bit of difference between them two there. Also on the rear of the figure itself, if you look, the G1 figure can actually conceal the face of Hardhead, whereas the face itself is pretty obvious on his back, so he'll be walking around with a humongous face on his back. So I guess not really a lot of thought process comes. I mean, they could have easily flipped that, or at least done something with that, to at least hide the face. Anyway, obviously this is the Hardhead figure itself here. In fact, before I show you the figure itself, what else comes with it? It's got replicas of the two rifles, and put them side by side with the G1 counterpart piece. And you can see exactly what you get there, which is the shoulder cannon 2 rifles. But you also get this extra backpack as well, included into the set. The reason being for this backpack is to allow connectivity of the weapons onto either vehicle mode or robot mode on the Hardhead figure. However, with the set itself, it is also compatible with the original G1 figure as well. So, if I wanted to, I can pretty much build him up to look like his G1 counterpart. And yeah, so if you lost the original weapons to a Hardhead, then it's a nice little replacement set there as well. But personally myself, I prefer the original G1 weapons. Don't know why, I just do. And I believe this can simply clip on to the back here, like so. If I can just get it in. However, what he does have in his backpack, if I split that open, it comes with a tiny little port, and what that allows you to do is connect the Hardhead figure into there, so that becomes the attachment point as you would have on the figure itself there. So that's the person port for the original G1 figure itself there. So let's just quickly transform him so you get an idea of what he looks like. The new Hardhead figure itself there, as opposed to his G1 head there. So it's a nice little replacement. However, taking that off, essentially what we have is 3 screws. We've got one large screw, which is right there in the centre of his head, and to the bottom itself there, we've got 2 more little screws. So simply just a matter of removing those screws, which I'm going to do now. Right, I've now just removed the screws, and that simply leaves a port on his head itself there. And you've essentially got the original Onslaught / Hardhead head itself there. So I'm just gonna, and now with the new Jaws head, I'm simply going to attach that in its place. That simply just sits in there, pops it on like so, and it's done. And already, wow, you can see what a difference from the original head. you know, again, he still maintains the articulation of the original figure itself there, but it is a bit loose, I must say. And the problem is he's always looking down as well, even if I try and put it upright, because it's at an angle, the way his head sits, which is a bit of a shame. And you can try and angle it a little bit, but because it's so loose, it kind of sits there. But what you've also got, because of the light pipe on the inside, when I do press that, you should just about make... Does it glow? No. When you've got a light on the inside there. But I was hoping that the light would actually come through on this figure, but apparently... No, it doesn't, unfortunately. So that is lost out, whereas on the original figure would have come through on his perspex eyes there. Anyway, now one thing as well, in order to put the new weapons on, you do have to remove these turrets, which simply just pull off anyway. Attach his the backpack, which I was originally referring to, now sits in that little groove there. You've got a little hole post and peg, and in it goes. Rifle itself, again, a little post, fits neatly on the side. And his guns, again, a bit of a tight fit. There you go. Now, what a fucking improvement, I've got to say. He does look awesome with the new weapons. I mean, that's exactly what I was trying to say before in terms of the Onslaught figure. It looked too much like a green Onslaught. And it was just basically the rifles and the shoulder cannon. Now, if I get the original G1 figure and hold them side by side, you'll know exactly what I mean. And there you go. That's the original G1 figure, alongside with the Universe figure with the HotHead add-on. And, you know, that is by far a much better representation of Hardhead, in my opinion. The HotHead figure, you know, with the rifles and so forth, really does make a huge improvement. You know, in my opinion, does it need it? Yes, it definitely needed it. Is it worth the money? You can find a cheap version, you know, cheap box set of this, of the heads and so forth. Yeah, it's definitely worth buying. Quality, not so great in my opinion. I mean, it's rigid enough. You know, I'm not gonna knock it. It just feels very cheap. Very cheap plastic, and but overall it does give the desired effect. So yeah, this is Chief saying thank you for watching, thank you for subscribing. I've got quite a few new subscribers recently. Because I've got kids, as any parent will know, and because of the nature of my work, I don't push out as many videos as I used to. Also because I'm getting old and I'm fucking knackered, is the easiest way to put it. But yeah, you know, as long as people are subscribing and people are watching, I shall continue doing these videos for you. And I look forward to meeting a lot of you at BotCon this year. And yeah, only 18 days to go, and I am shitting bricks now. Because I've got so much to do, so much to organise, so much to arrange, so much to pack. And yeah, getting really psyched about this. So yeah, this is Chief, logging off for now. But before I do, I shall leave you